Paramount has become a serious player ever since the Skydance merger went through, and you can chalk a lot of those smart moves up to the new CEO, David Ellison. He seems to have, at least seems, because a lot of these moves haven't really bore any fruit yet. They could all be for naught, but at least from the outside looking in, he's making some smart moves, okay? Signing up James Mangold, I mean, outside of the confines of Lucasfilm, the guy is an exceptionally competent director, and if he delivers anything on par with Ford v Ferrari or Logan or anything like that, I mean, more things like that, less things like Dial of Destiny, and that'll be a tremendous deal. There's a lot of promise with the Duffer brothers, okay, and especially if they can stick the landing with Stranger Things, people will be looking forward to what they're doing in the future. Signing up the UFC is a tremendous deal and bolsters the value of Paramount Plus, but we talked about it earlier this week. I mean, letting Taylor Sheridan walk without offering him any sort of counteroffer to the NBC Universal deal because you didn't see eye to eye with him and you just wanted to have full control. I kind of think that is retarded, but then it also, it's interesting, right? Because then you got him penning the Call of Duty movie, so the door is still kind of, it's really messy, so, but all things considered, when you take a look at the bigger Hollywood studios that are out there, at least Paramount, what you can say right now is they kind of have a vision. They kind of know what they're looking for in the future, and they're heading towards that direction. Something that, well, I know from the outside looking in looks obvious, but from the Hollywood state of mind is a very foreign concept. Yeah, guys kind of like TV too, and if you cater to them, they're going to show out, which makes, again, the Taylor Sheridan thing is like, it's so wild, right? But yeah, of all the big moves that are out there, the UFC, I think they also signed up professional bull riding, mostly because that's under the umbrella of, TKO. The only one that is left on the curb is the WWE, and probably for very good reasons. Have you seen their ratings lately? Oh no, that's just because we're using different metrics. Then why did Major League Baseball just post the best ratings for the World Series? But no, you're still making excuses for a SmackDown dipping under 1 million and Raw on Netflix barely clinging to 2 million viewers worldwide. Okay, pal. Best of luck on ESPN, another station. The experts and analysts are begging Disney to get rid of. Fantastic stuff. Wrestling's never been more healthy, guys, but enough bashing that. But yeah, inside David Ellison's dramatic first 100 days. God, it seems a lot longer, but then again, news does move quickly. Supporting Tom Cruise blockbusters, okay. Forging ties with Trump and daring anyone else to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, because yeah, that's of course on the horizon. Now, of course, we've heard rumors that Netflix could be interested, but I would imagine if that were to happen, like if Netflix was to get anything off of Warner Brothers, that would probably be after a theoretical Paramount deal falls through, because they kind of want to get rid of everything. And Warner Brothers, well, they have you have your broadcast and you have your cable networks on top of everything else. And so if they were to start to strip off their IP, or after they go through that split next year, if they were to split off one of the two companies, leave Discovery as it is with the other broadcasting and cable stations, and then sell off the Warner Brothers side of things, maybe Netflix gets in on that, maybe Apple, Amazon, one of the other big tech companies. But I would imagine that we'll probably hear, I wouldn't be shocked if we heard something by the end of the year that Paramount and Warner Brothers comes to an agreement, because I mean, like, if you're looking for other tremendously potent IPs, like, man, Warner Brothers, at least for my tastes, okay, I can speak personally for a second, they have all of the stuff that I really like. Lord of the Rings, cinematic stuff, that is. Harry Potter, all of the George R.R. Martin stuff, and to a lesser extent, especially under the stewardship of James Gunn, I really like DC over Marvel. Always have, probably always will. Mortal Kombat, it's like they have a whole bunch of stuff that I really like. It's just, they're kind of retarded. They should be making billions every single year, but instead they're $40 billion in the hole. Hence why they're selling and Paramount could be buying. But yeah, of all of the stuff that they're bringing in and all of the new ties that they're forging, one of the big IPs that they do already have that is also just simply waiting to be revived is Star Trek. And thanks to, the previous leadership, the Sherry Redstone administration, well, they put Jar Jar Abrams and his disciple Alex Kurtzman in charge, and well, Star Trek really hasn't been the same That's the nicest way that we can put it. But apparently, outside of mergers and acquisitions, David Ellison is also taking a look at one of his premier IPs and deciding that, yeah, man, it's time to do a little bit of house cleaning over here. Star Trek IV, no longer in development. Well, let's be honest, okay? They were just, okay, the Kurtzman camp out there, they were just throwing out the idea that, oh yeah, Star Trek IV, it's gonna happen. We're in contact with the rest of the cast and crew to see if they want to do Star Trek 4. It's still in development. Like over on the Star Wars side of life. Oh yeah, Rian Johnson's trilogy, still in the works. Taika Waititi's movie, oh yeah, it's in development. Don't worry about it. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Star Trek 4 no longer in development. Paramount ends the Kelvin Timeline. Oh shit. You know that fanfic timeline that has taken the spotlight in recent years? That's over. Oh shit. That's a good thing. Variety has confirmed what many have suspected for a long time. Star Trek IV is not going boldly or otherwise. Yes, where no crew, no man has gone before. It's just, he is boldly going into the dustbin. In a feature article discussing David Ellison's first 100 days as head of Paramount Skydance. Yeah, that's the article that we just had pulled up, but it's fairly long. I just wanted a summary on this, mostly because I want to focus in on the Star Trek stuff. The hope is to have a fresh Star Trek movie, explaining that the studio has moved on from the idea of bringing back Chris Pine as Zachary Quinto, and the rest of the ensemble from the J.J. Abrams reboot. Oh shit, remember how that one got praised to hell and back? What was that, 2009? Lens flare trek, action-adventure trek? It was the movie that got him Star Wars after all, but it was also a movie that aged like cottage cheese on your radiator. Nobody speaks fondly of that anymore, and especially of the sequels for sure. Was it Into Darkness came first, and then Beyond? Like, I think Beyond was shit in the time that it came out, but Into Darkness, it took a couple of weeks for people to turn on that, I seem to recall. But anyways, yes, after a decade of rumors and false starts, we can finally say that the Kelvin timeline has come to an end. In 2009, J.J. Abrams, yes, Trek divided both established Trek timeline and its fan base. The movie didn't simply recast Kirk, Spock, Bones, and the rest, but brought in Leonard Nimoy, yeah, where he just came in and he talked over his dentures. The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the few and the many. And some time travel trickery to set this new Trek in its own reality. Officially, it is the Kelvin timeline, and its split is marked by the destruction of the USS Kelvin. Some saw it as a clever means of preserving the original series in the prime timeline, while allowing for writers Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci freedom to tell new stories about adhering to canon. Others felt that it was disingenuous. Yeah, exactly. However, Trek made over $385 million worldwide on a reported $150 million budget, which, not great, but yes, it was nominated for numerous awards at the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. Yeah, exactly, and oh boy, didn't it look nice at the time? It's so great. The first sequel, Into Darkness, in 2013, proved even more divisive to fans. Drew Deesh of A Giant Freaking Robot called it aggressively stupid in the plot department, lazy and slightly sacrilegious in concept, and secretly an affront to everything Star Trek is supposed to stand for. Still, it made $467 million worldwide on a $190 million budget. According to Screen Rant, deals were in place for the cast for a fourth entry, even before the third movie, Star Trek Beyond, in 2016 went into production. Justin Lin, best known for reviving the Fast and the Furious franchise, actually it's quite analogous to what Jar Jar Abrams ended up doing to to Star Trek, and Star Wars I guess to a lesser extent, but specifically to Star Trek. Just taking an established franchise and completely and totally changing it into something unrecognizable, because yeah, Fast and Furious, yeah, car racing, what is it about now? We're going to space. Wait, the fuck, what? But he stepped into the director's chair for Abrams and ramped up the action, while Beyond's budget was smaller at $185 million. Oh yes, he just left that $5 million on the floor. Its worldwide box office also shrank to $343 million, possibly prompting Paramount to pump the brakes. And then from there, it was full steam ahead on slop streaming shows. Still, in 2018, Variety reported that S.J. Clarkson of Madam Web fame was signed to direct Star Trek IV, primarily known as a TV director. Yes, a Game of Thrones spin-off, Blood Moon. So bad it'll never see the light of day. She would be the first female director. Oh my god, it could have been Trek history. And of a Star Trek feature film. Not much was known about the plot, beyond that it would involve time travel, and have Chris Pine's Captain Kirk meeting his father, played in 2009 by a relatively unknown Chris Hemsworth, yes, who had agreed to return. I'm sure those are things that definitely would have happened, and definitely would have been good. After leaner earnings for Star Trek Beyond, Paramount demanded a similarly leaner budget. Pine and Hemsworth, who had become a bankable star thanks to Thor, were reportedly asked to work for less pay than their existing deals provided, and they're like, yo, The name Chris is like really popular and really bankable in Hollywood, and we kind of have careers, so take your little fucking fanfic trek and go fuck your mother. But yeah, Star Trek continued on TV with Discovery. Thankfully, that wrapped up. Which is set in the prime timeline. Oh no, those series had also been controversial, though now it seems that it's only the Kelvin Timeline that Ellison and Skydance are scrapping. But if you recall, what was it? God, it was this time last year when Discovery was wrapping up, and it really looked like, thanks to, God, one of those other shitty shows that was out there, it kind of looked like that was also getting retconned and binned because, well, Alex Kurtzman's contract, it's kind of like a Kathleen Kennedy situation. Oh, it's going to be up any day now. And so if David Ellison is serious about moving forward with a fresh slate for a Star Trek movie, perhaps he could just be looking for a clean slate for Star Trek, full stop. One can hope, I suppose. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.